In this demo, we will learn more about Revit family to create custom furniture. Let's create the white round table you see on the screen. We also learn how to quickly render in Enscape and then touch up in Photoshop. Let's just start with the furniture template, family template, and the arrange viewport so that you can see top and side views at the same time. We are using Revolve tool this time. Let's draw the profile in the front viewport. I want to recommend you have the photo of the model and dimensions handy. 36 inches diameter and 28 inches height would be about right for the table. And these line segments should make a closed shape. And sometimes these corners you have intersecting lines. Then use fillet to make sure they connect properly. Now refine the profile drawing to make the model look more realistic and better. Use spline tool to smoothen the base of the table. And use another arc tool to smoothly attach the table to the column. Then take care of any intersecting overlapping lines. Otherwise, you will have an error message. The top of the table, you need to make the edge to be full bullnose style using arc. Almost done. In the 3D modeling, we probably don't need it, but in reality, we need extra support underneath the tabletop, either with the brackets or more thickness in this case. As the final step, assign the axis to completely revolve. Next, the modeling is done. You need to assign the right material to make the table white and shiny. Go to Material, Asset Browser, and find white plastic. I accidentally chose white paint, then made it shine later. You can assign the selected material surface by surface, but it will take longer and more difficult, especially when you want to make changes in the material. Instead, it's better to change the object's material by going to the object's properties and materials and finishes, assign the selected material there to apply the entire model. If you like, you can adjust the parameters of the material with transparency or glossiness or with the bump texture. And then save your family file. And then finally, you need to load the model into the project. In the project, you need to determine where the table goes, and then render the predefined 3D view in Enscape. And Enscape rendering is faster than any other rendering system, but it may be slow depending on your system. The splotchiness gets better when the lighting gets better. And let's add some props to make the scene look more realistic and better. Go to Enscape and Asset Library and look for chair. You're welcome to try other places to download and free Revit objects. I added asset that I found, which is nice looking chair, but it's not showing. Then you need to check the visibility setting and unhide in the view the category, which is Enscape object. Then if you make them unhide, then you will see all other Enscape objects as well. And make a copy, and you made 2 chairs. Rotate the chair, the second one, so that it looks natural. Quickly rendered in Enscape and found the chairs seem a little too big. Then adjust the scale of the chair by going to Type Properties and Height. It was 3 feet, now it's 2 feet 10 inches, got a little smaller. Let's add a couple of pillows for the bench. 2 pillows, they are looking similar, but not the same kind. From active view or section view, we need to move up the pillows. Adjust the section box of the active view, and from the left view, pick up the pillow to the right place, and the size of the pillow to appear naturally from the selected camera angle, slightly smaller than the original pillow, and rotate them so they look comfortable and natural. The pillows look okay, and we need better lighting, and we need to try different camera angles. It's then possible to further adjust the time of the day within Enscape using the right mouse button and Shift key combination. From Enscape visual settings, you can change the exposure and uncheck the auto exposure and increase the exposure value to 48. Now the splotchiness is gone. It looks brighter and happier. Next, let's add a coffee maker and cups and a cake. From asset library, look for the right assets, and remember everything you add to the scene goes right to the floor of the scene. So you need to pick the new added assets and then move them up to where they belong. To make sure they're in the right placement, we need to check from different views, from the front and left and right views. If the camera angle is fine, let's play with different settings for field of view and other parameters in Enscape visual settings. For camera projection, try 2-point perspective instead of perspective, which is default, and see how they look different. Finally, a planter is added in the foreground to provide further depth. This view can be saved in any defined resolution with the Shift plus F11 key. In Photoshop, you can add any background. For example, this is a landscape photo I found, and copy the selection and then paste into the areas for the window view. And then adjust the scale and height, and finally the color tone and brightness need to be adjusted to make the scene look more realistic. We covered this in class. Final rendering size need to be determined in Enscape. And this is the end. Thank you.